welcome back to Somebody Come Listen to This podcast. This is your host, Nava. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button before we get into this very important topic. Y'all, this topic is really important, and I hope that y'all will share it to push it into the algorithm. I know YouTube is probably going to shadow ban this video like they do all my other ones, but y'all, we have to talk about this. We're in danger. We've been in danger, but it seems like our government is wanting to put us in even more danger. There have been so many laws that are in effect and being passed that are affecting women, like our actual lives. Women are dying because of these laws. Women are dying without the laws. Women are just dying by the hands of these males out here, and this is globally. So the population is decreasing globally. Governments are scattering, trying to get the population back up and trying to get women to have children, but it's men are taking out children and women and everybody else as fast as women are actually birthing them. We're not replacing the kids fast enough. And I feel like they're actually taking women and kids out faster than what women are birthing. I know in America, men are taking women out every 4.5 hours. One black woman, I'm talking about black women. This is the black femicide rate. Every 4.5 hours, a black woman is killed at the hands of a black male. We're not talking about that as much as we used to, but now they're trying to force women to have kids because of the system we live in. The uber rich people see children as currency. They see them as little worker bees, like little slaves, all children, not just black children, all children. So they want women to keep having kids. Even Elon Musk, his mom got up on TV a couple of weeks ago, and she actually said it out of her mouth that they want poor people to keep having kids so they can work for her son. And by poor, I mean, to them, anybody that's making under $400,000 a year is poor. Anybody that's making $500K a year is poor to them. But y'all, it's getting really bad out here. Women are deciding not to have kids for many reasons. We cannot afford them. Nobody can afford a kid right now. Daycare is crazy for a newborn. You're going to be paying $1,200 to $1,500 a month, depending on what state you're in. You can't even stay home and raise your kids because you have to work. Some people are out here working 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet, and they're still struggling. Some people are trying to go to school. They're getting in student loan debt and they got to pay all that back. Nobody can afford to even live without kids, let alone and they're not trying to help, in any way. Anyway, these jobs are making people work 9, 10, 11, 12 hours a day. When does anybody have time to raise a kid? So they're trying to change laws to put women back in the home where they won't be working, where we can't vote. Republicans want women to just be in the kitchen and not have any autonomy and to be under their husband's complete control. Y'all don't believe me? Go look up what they're trying to do with the no-fault divorce laws. Go look up the filial laws, where they're trying to make women financially responsible for their parents. It doesn't say women, but we know that women are the ones who would end up doing this. So I'm like, how are women supposed to have more kids and y'all are changing all these laws that are going to affect women? How? But that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about another couple of reasons that women do not need to be having kids in 2025. A lot of women have miscarriages. Some women have 3, 4, 5, a lot of miscarriages before they actually have one child. And most people think that is because something is wrong with the mom. And lately, women have been getting arrested, y'all. Yeah, for y'all that don't know, women are getting arrested for having miscarriages because they think that women are trying to abort their babies because of the laws that are being passed. And no, come to find out, a lot of these miscarriages are caused by men because these men have janky sperm, dusty sperm is not shaped right, because of their health is bad. yeah, their sperm is causing women to have miscarriages. It's causing women to have even preeclampsia. It is causing women to, y'all know how some women will get pregnant and then they throw up and vomit the entire pregnancy? That's caused by men's sperm. Women can have some hereditary things going on where it can be passed from the baby, but a lot of the issues that we didn't originally think could be coming from the dad are coming from the dad. And people are speaking about it. And the crazy thing is, these women are having miscarriages and they're trying to lock women up for having miscarriages. Some of these women go to the doctors and try to get they call a medical abortion, a miscarriage. They call it a medical abortion. And it's not an abortion. It's the baby is literally already gone a lot of the time, and they won't help the woman get the baby out. They will send her home because the doctors are scared that they'll get charges for aborting the baby when it's already dead. They will send women home. They are doing that now with a pill. And if the pill doesn't help them to get past the baby through at home, they will give them another pill. These women are like bleeding out. Some of them have lost their lives because doctors aren't helping them. And come to find out, they could get arrested. They would go through this traumatic experience and end up getting arrested for losing their baby. And then come to find out it's because the man's sperm was bad, because their diet was not good. You know that Americans' diets are trash. So most men's diets are trash. The majority of men in America probably have trash diets, and women are not putting two and two together. Like, it's not my body. Your body is actually rejecting his bad DNA. It's kind of like your body is rejecting a foreign object. Like, y'all just think about it. What if we are not the same species? Because a lot of these women have miscarriages and they have a lot of them, and then they end up having one baby, and then that baby has like mental issues, physical issues, developmental issues, just all kind of issues. Once that bad sperm does penetrate the egg, these babies are having all kind of issues after they're born. So I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna get into the videos, and then I'll be right back with my commentary after this.
A miscarriage is defined as the spontaneous loss of a pregnancy before 20 weeks. But did you know that a man's sperm health can also play a huge role in causing a miscarriage? Here are 3 ways that a man's health can potentially affect the viability of a pregnancy. Number 1 is sperm quality. Oddly shaped sperm, slow swimmers, and low sperm count can mess up the growth of an embryo. If sperm is oddly shaped, it may not properly fertilize the egg, which could potentially lead to a miscarriage. Number 2 is lifestyle choices like smoking, consuming too much alcohol, having a horrible diet, and even stress can easily harm sperm quality, putting a pregnancy at risk. And number 3 is DNA issues. Sperm DNA can be damaged during production and transport, which can lead to DNA fragmentation. This may cause problems in the sperm, and if those issues are passed on to an embryo, it may hinder proper development, causing the woman's body to end the pregnancy on its own. Men can work on improving sperm quality by 1. Keeping the testes cool, weight management, proper diet, physical exercise, reducing alcohol, and quitting smoking. A miscarriage is not just a woman's burden to bear, and both partners should consider these factors when contemplating having a child.
Turns
Now,
out a
next,
woman's experience in pregnancy is directly linked to the male's health. Preeclampsia has been found out to be tied to men. Also, men build a placenta, so morning sickness is also tied to men. The male is about 50 to 60% of the epigenetic expression of the child. So when you think about it, your wife or some girlfriends are carrying your child, so the male is responsible for a lot of things that ends up happening to the women during pregnancy. So dudes, we're about to get blamed for everything, so make sure you're healthy. Check your health before you get her pregnant. Looking to all options to just have a healthier body so she can have a better pregnancy. Now, women, this doesn't mean go in the room and blame your husband for everything and start a problem right now. I am just learning this too, and I decided to make a video on it. This is very interesting, and I think this should just bring everybody closer together, and we should just all work on our health together. Together. All right?
We don't don't know this, but most miscarriages are actually the result of bad quality sperm. That's why it's so important to get your sperm tested as soon as possible. If you're a woman, make sure to get your husband's, boyfriend's, fiance's sperm tested as well. We're getting DMs every single day from guys who thought they were healthy, tested their sperm, and realized they have 0 sperm. This is not a drill. All these insane chemicals in our environment are literally poisoning us.
What I think and what I know about multiple miscarriages is that it's not always the woman's fault. I feel like a lot of people, because of the misconception and miseducation, we feel like all miscarriages are due to the woman's body rejecting the baby. But no, it's actually caused by DNA fragmentation, which is caused by the sperm of the man. Most miscarriages are caused by the male sperm. If he has poor sperm quality, this is why it's so important for a man to take care of his health and well-being, not just the woman, especially when you're trying to conceive. Now, when I see women having multiple miscarriages, of course I say, y'all DNA does not mix. I also associate that with divine intervention. Something about that man, God and the universe does not want you to have a baby with him. Your ancestors trying to protect your womb.
So at this point, I think any woman that is getting pregnant is literally playing Russian roulette with your life. I would be terrified to get pregnant in 2025. This is the last day of 2024. Today is the 3rd. Tomorrow is the last day of 2024. Tomorrow is December 31st. And y'all, if y'all have not locked your birth control down, y'all need to be on long-term birth control. Y'all need to be on permanent birth control, something, because we have no idea what laws are going to be changed or put into effect whenever these crazy men get into office. They are dead set on trying to control women because women are who holds up patriarchy, because women birth children. So let's finish this video up and I'll be right back.
When people hear miscarriage, a lot of the times you would think that there's something wrong with the woman. Unfortunately, a miscarriage can be caused by either partner. Here in the clinic, we found that men, about 10% of them, have abnormal sperm that can contribute to miscarriages. So as a man, how can you help decrease your partner's risk of having a miscarriage? Well, be as healthy as you can. Your sperm is a direct reflection of your general health. We'd always say eat lots of fruits and vegetables, try to be really healthy around the time that you're having treatment. Most of us can't really cover everything with our diet, so it'd be a good idea to take something like a Well-Man's supplement. We are learning more that CoQ10 helps contribute to sperm quality, so that might not be a bad idea as well. Also, around the time of treatment, we would recommend that you have frequent ejaculations rather than storing up your sperm in the preparation for treatment. We really don't know what level of alcohol is safe, so again, we would just say, especially around the time of treatment, if you could cut it out, that would be really helpful as well. And of course, we all know the harmful dangers of smoking. Again, it's a hard habit to break, but if you could reduce or even stop around the time of the treatment, that would also help decrease your risk of miscarriages.
Hi, Dr. Jen, thanks for your question. So, your partner contributes half the chromosomes to the embryo. So we certainly see cases with poor sperm quality, maybe older men above age 55, or other reasons for poor sperm quality where it seems miscarriages are more likely because they're contributing half of the genetic material to the embryo, and it can be the sperm's genetic material that's abnormal or leading to problems in the embryo. So it's possible.
Things they don't tell you, part 308. Miscarriages are very frequent. It happens to about 30% of people, if not more. The most common reason for a miscarriage is the development of a baby has chromosomal abnormalities and the body kind of rejects this embryo. The reason why there's chromosomal abnormalities can be issues with either the egg or the sperm. Sperm DNA fragmentation. This can happen when men who have partners that have experienced recurrent miscarriages try to conceive, their sperm kind of breaks up and forms chromosomal abnormalities within the embryo. Another reason can be oxidative stress, which is an imbalance of free radicals and antioxidants causing sperm DNA damage. You can counter this by eating healthy berries, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, foods full of antioxidants. And a study came out showing advanced paternal age is actually associated with more miscarriages. Has to do with the quality of the sperm.
How do you get arrested for having a miscarriage? First of all, the doctor would report you to the police and the police would investigate and you would be charged. Unfortunately, this does happen in the United States. There have been over 700 women who have been investigated, detained, imprisoned simply for their pregnancy. However, most doctors are really good people and they would never do this. But as long as these laws are in place, some doctors who are bad, who are pro-life, they do this to women. And that's why there are women that have been imprisoned, investigated simply for their pregnancy. So our goal is to remove these laws, to remove any law on a woman's body, because there are 0 laws on a man's body and there should be 0 laws on a woman's body.
Most miscarriages actually are the result of a DNA fragmentation from the sperm.
Dang, that's never talked about.
No,
we just
it's not.
assume it's something with the girl usually.
Exactly. The time to think about your healthy contribution as a male and the sperm is not the night that you're conceiving. It's about 7 or 8 weeks prior to that.
Oh yeah?
Because that's how long it takes that sperm to mature. And so that means 7 or 8 weeks before, no binge drinking, no caffeine use, heavy. Moderate's okay, as is moderate alcohol intake, actually.
So caffeine kills sperm?
Caffeine in high concentrations is toxic. Yeah,
Wow.
It's toxic to sperm. You know, you don't want to be a slob. If your hormone levels are out of balance, the testes are dependent on a certain concentration of testosterone within the testicle,
Right.
not just circulating. And if that gets impaired, then you're in trouble. But it's a long time ago. It's not when you think it is. And most guys don't think about their contribution.
Do you know that in the United States, a woman could be imprisoned for having a miscarriage? Watch until the end because I do have a petition in my bio that you guys can sign. So you heard correctly, women who have miscarriages, and it's been predominantly women of color, can be fined and also imprisoned. The reasons for the imprisonments have varied, but it's oftentimes drug use. In some of the cases, the women had gone to hospitals seeking treatment for their drug use, received no treatment, miscarried, and then were sent to state prison. The actual medical community has called this law harmful. The same country that sends bombs to kill pregnant women in Gaza. We are the same country that continuously has gun violence in schools. We are the same country that doesn't provide the treatment necessary for pregnant women struggling with addiction, and yet will also imprison the women who have miscarriages. Mind you, some of these miscarriages, the fetus wasn't viable anyways. However, because they found drug use in the bloodstream, the woman was given prison time. If you guys go to the link in my bio, it'll be the first link. Please sign this petition and make our voice known that we stand against this law. If you guys could share this video and comment when you've done so, that would mean a lot.
A woman, 22 years old in South Carolina, has been charged with homicide because she had a miscarriage. 22-year-old college student was charged with homicide by child abuse in South Carolina after suffering a miscarriage. Thankfully, a grand jury declined to pursue charges against the student last week, but this is another example of the criminalization nightmare that we can expect to see over and over again. Her story is very similar to the one in Ohio, Brittany Watts, who was charged with abuse of a corpse after flushing her miscarriage. Doctors tell women to go home and try to pass their fetuses when they're having a miscarriage, when they die. And they ask them to do that, and then if things don't progress the way that they're supposed to, they ask them to come back so that they can go do a DNC. This is getting delayed more and more and more. My mother could have died when she had to have a DNC back in the 70s, and they would not do that on her. They kept sending her back home, and she just kept bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. I remember this as a child, watching her. I'm going to keep reporting on these stories as much as I possibly can. A lot of people want to keep these private because they don't want their miscarriages to be politicized. They want the privacy. This has got to stop. Vote blue, down the ballot, everywhere.
This 21-year-old Salvadoran woman has been jailed for 50 years for suffering a miscarriage. Leslie Elizabeth Ramirez had suffered a medical emergency when she was 19 and lost the baby when she was going to the bathroom at night in June 2020. Ramirez came from a poor community and her home didn't have electricity, so she had tried cutting the umbilical cord in the dark after the emergency. At the time, she was unaware of her pregnancy and lacked the sexual education to understand what was happening. Panicking, she called her neighbors, who called the police to transport her to a hospital, but she was then accused of stabbing her baby in the throat and killing it. Abortion is illegal in El Salvador under all circumstances, including in medical emergencies that could threaten a woman's life. Ramirez was given a 50-year sentence on June 20th for aggravated homicide. This is the first time such a tough sentence has been given to a woman suffering an obstetric emergency. Follow for more news from around the world.
You can be arrested, detained, investigated simply for a miscarriage in 38 states that have fetal homicide laws. And even worse, 23 of these states have laws that apply to even the earliest stages of pregnancy.
Bits and pieces of my baby while using the bathroom. So I'm like literally scooping out the toilet, sticking my hand in the toilet, because who wants to flush their baby down a toilet? They did not prepare me for that. Imagine trying to grieve, especially if you wanted that pregnancy. Imagine trying to grieve, but also defend yourself in a court of law. I ain't never been pregnant before, and they let me know that I will lose my baby. They didn't tell me what to look for. So when I'm wearing the pins at this point, and when I'm leaking through the pins, I still don't know that you're losing too much blood, fool, until I almost passed out in a grocery store. And this lady was like, I'm going to take you to the hospital.
Oh my God.
Because I declined ambulance because now that's a bill that I can't pay.
You have to worry about whether or not you can afford proper care. So you ain't trying to go to the hospital.
This is how people die.
So yeah, ladies, that is pretty much what the world is showing us. They're showing us how they feel about us. Women birth nations. We birth the people that they need to keep nations running, that work for them. And they are telling us that we do not care if you die. We don't care. We want y'all to keep having these babies, but if you die, oh well. That's what they're saying. Not pretty much. That's exactly what they're saying. Keep having these babies that you can't afford, that are getting taken out by men, which we also birth. We birth the men who are taking us out the most. And they're saying that you should keep having babies. They're not going to get strict on the laws for the men that are raping the babies and taking the babies out. They're not going to get strict on those laws, but they just keep having the babies. They are leaving women with no choice but to get permanent birth control or long-term birth control. And I guarantee you they're going to try to ban all forms of birth control. That is why I'm telling women who can get in and get it now to get in and get it now. Because right now, giving birth in a lot of these states and countries is literally a death sentence or either a prison sentence. You cannot afford to risk it and play Russian roulette and say, I want to have a baby. And then you're in one of these states where if anything happens with that pregnancy and you need emergency care to get that baby out, you cannot afford to be pregnant. And then if you miscarry, if you don't have insurance, you probably are going to have to pay for that. When they do whatever procedure that they have to do to save, if you live, whatever procedure they have to do, you'll probably have to pay out of pocket for it. Like for the people that don't have insurance, people are paying $15,000 and up to have kids. And imagine if you're having twins and triplets. So yeah, they keep piling on more and more reasons why women should not have kids right now, but they're like panicking about the plummeting birth rates. I'm pleading with y'all to share these videos because I want to be part of the birth rates dropping. I want to be part of seeing them go to hell. We may be about to end up in The Handmaid's Tale, but so be it. Let's go. I keep telling y'all to practice your Second Amendment rights and get your tubes tied. Those two things right now should be a priority. And I know this is why they're shadow banning my channel. And that's why I keep asking y'all, please share as much as you can. Please comment, like, subscribe. All of these things help to get our channels into the algorithm. So I think they do, but that's all I got for now, ladies. Thank you for watching. If you stayed this long, I thank y'all for subscribing and sticking with me. And I will talk to you ladies later. Bye.